Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. I thought it'd be fun this week. Someone asked me if I would compose a top 10 list of simple coaching techniques or things you can use to be a better Agile coach. And I thought to myself, I said, yeah, I could probably do 10. But then when I started whittling it down, I came up with 12. So I thought what I'd do is a 3-part series. So we'll do this for the first 3 days this week, where we'll cover 4 techniques a day for 3 days and give you the top 12 simple coaching techniques that you can use just to be a better Agile coach. So let's start at the top. The first technique I'd like to discuss with you is a technique called silence. Now, this one is wildly popular when you don't know what to do, but it's hard to do when you simply know an answer, or you're trying to solve an issue, or you're trying to help the team solve a problem. So you first have to better understand what the real role of a coach is. So in my opinion, the role of a coach is to help whoever you're serving find their own solution, not just give them your advice, right? It's not a matter of enabling them. It's the difference between enabling them to make that same mistake over and over and empowering them so they can't make the same mistake again. You know, as a coach, when you experience a desire just to share advice or to say, hey, here's what I do, sometimes it's better just to zip it, right? It's better just to stay silent. And if you have to, count. I know it sounds silly, but take an exercise and count to 20 or 30 in silence, just dead silence. Sometimes silence is just so powerful. And eventually the other person or the other team member, they'll say something. And I think the best example of this is just when you're ready to say, so tell me more, just that was only 7 seconds of silence, and that was pretty painful, right? So I just wanted to give you an idea. 30 seconds of silence is a long time. So just if you can be quiet for a short term, I'll tell you now, that's going to be a great coaching technique that's going to help you. Introducing number 2. I call this one, take a look in the mirror. Now, here's how it works. Sometimes the client or sometimes the coach gets wrapped up in all the details of what's going on, and they fail to notice a switch in their own tone of voice or in somebody else's tone of voice or to their demeanor or the energy level changes. There's all kinds of things that can happen. You know, respectfully hold up the mirror to the client and help them see what you're seeing, right? Anytime someone makes an inference, you know, make sure you check in with them to make sure that your inference is accurate. That's the best way to put it. So, you know, examples of this are easy, you know, wow, it seems like to me you're feeling this way right now. Is that true? Right? Is that true? Is that really where we are? You know, or I just noticed that your mood changed from X to Y. What happened? Is that all right? You know, is that correct? Was that your intent? Because I think sometimes when you just hold it up to them and let them see exactly what happened, sometimes they'll realize it and they'll say, yeah, you're right. You know, let's get that straighter. Let's get back on track. Let's keep this professional. And that one you got to be careful, because you don't want to go, oh, I see you're upset now. you need to temper it. You need to make sure you're doing this, you know, with the right psychological approach, with the right coaching approach, with the right coaching stance, right? You don't want to use the improper stance when you're using that technique. Number 3, one of my favorites. I always tell people, quote, people always love to come to a wine and cheese party, but no one ever likes to bring the cheese. Everybody always likes to wine. And it sounds funny when I say it, but it's true. I can't tell you how many times I've been involved with teams that just whine and whine and whine and whine about things that are happening. But then when it comes to bringing in solutions, or it comes to bringing in alternatives, they don't want to talk about those things, right? Or they forget they need to bring in a solution. You know, the truth is, most of what we go through is not just black and white. It's only our thinking that creates the false dichotomy that everything is black or white and that everything's going to be a certain way. So we need to get past that. So I think that when somebody's thinking something, or it's dominated by either or thinking, it's best for us to try to figure out creative ways to gather alternatives that spur to creative thinking and diminish the power of false dichotomies. So an example of this is to break down and say, well, what are all the options? You know, no matter how crazy they are, what might apply in a situation. This is a great opportunity for you to use grow. Remind me again, what was our goal? What's our reality? What options do we have? And what will we commit to do? It's a great way for you to gather feedback from the end consumer, or even gather feedback from other coaches about, wow, what can we do? And it presents an opportunity for us to choose. So I think that's a good one. And I love that one. And of course, I'm going to try to put one of my favorites in each of the 3 days. This one is definitely one of my favorites. Number 4 is called The Genie in the Lamp, or the Magic Wish, right? So when all a client can see are the constraints associated with an issue, sometimes it's hard for them to develop a creative alternative. In these scenarios, I say, hey, I have a lamp back here, which I really do on my bookshelf. And I say, if I could give you a magic wish that'll magically bring forth the perfect solution, what would it be? This is a good technique to help people think outside of the box, right? If the genie in the lamp could grant your one wish, and last night while you were away, your issue became magically fixed while you're sleeping, what's new today? What's different? What's changed? How does that make you feel? How does it make our end consumer feel? And is it something that's possible? And I think that if we really examine our options that way and look at things, I think it's going to help us see brighter alternatives. It's going to help us see that the grass isn't always green on the other side of the fence, but there are alternate options, right? And it's going to help us weigh those options out. And I think it's just going to help us think differently and help us grow. So I hope you enjoyed those first 4 tips. Tune in for the rest of the week so you can hear the next 8, because we got 8 more tips to share with you. And as always, I encourage you to visit agiledad.com where you can learn more about this topic and many others. There's so many exciting things I want to share with you. I can't wait till tomorrow. Stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.